Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Sayer. Anyone who is looking into Japan travel has heard about the world-famous Shinkansen. Although in English the word Shinkansen in most cases is used in the sense of Japanese bullet train, the term also refers to the modern rail lines that are served by the renowned trains. If you want to support my channel, you can like the video and subscribe to my channel below. Don't forget to turn on notifications to be notified of upcoming videos. It all started with Takedo Shinkansen that began to operate in 1964. Today, when it takes just 2.5 hours to travel from Tokyo to Osaka, one of the most modern and beloved by tourists Japanese cities, it seems so hard to believe that just 50 years ago Shinkansen lines were introduced to connect the remote regions with the country's capital to help the region's economical growth. Clearly, that turned out well. But not everybody knows that in the beginning, the idea of bullet trains in Japan faced quite a strong opposition. Which is understandable, it's always scary to be a pioneer, and no other country has built separate train lines meant for high-speed travel at the time. Some very respected public figures had resented Shinkansen and were not shy to voice their concerns. Luckily, Japanese bullet trains proved to be nothing but success on all fronts and became the public's favorites in just a few years. In fact, Japan's Shinkansen was such a big success that it inspired many European countries to implement very similar technology. Thanks to that, France proudly introduced its first high-speed TGV trains in 1981, followed by Germany's Intercity Express 10 years later. Now the Japanese high-speed rail network is over half a century old, but don't you dare think that it in any way outdated. Over the decades, the system was relentlessly modified and improved. It was never about keeping up to date with modern technology. On the contrary, it was always about proudly leading the way into the future. The very first line that started it all, Takedo Shinkansen, is among the busiest high-speed rail lines in the world, that carried over 5.6 billion passengers since its first day in service. Every day during the rush hour, the line operates 13 trains per hour, each carrying over 20,000 passengers. Impressive, right? And what is Mini Shinkansen? As mentioned above, Japan was the first country to build special railway lines dedicated to high-speed travel, designed with 1,435 mm / 4 feet 8.5 inches gauge in contrast to older lines' narrower gauge of 1,067 mm / 3 feet 6 inches. It worked wonders, but later another idea occurred. Why not convert part of the existing train tracks to the Shinkansen standard and connect them with the famous railway, thus extending the network even further? This concept of converted lines got the name Mini Shinkansen. But converting the lines was not the only problem. Apart from widening the track gauge, new trains boasting narrower cross-section had to be introduced, as original Shinkansen trains were not able to go through tunnels along the old lines due to their increased width. It took about 5 years to bring this plan to life, but in 1992 the new Yamagata Shinkansen line started to operate. Although the new trains can run at the speed of 320 km per hour, about 200 miles per hour, along the Shinkansen tracks, Mini Shinkansen allows the maximum speed of only 130 km per hour, 80 miles per hour, which increases the travel time comparing to what Shinkansen offers. Now, when you know a bit about the history of the Japanese Shinkansen, let's have a close look at the trains that service the high-speed lines and share the name with the renowned railway. A bullet train, Japan's rail pride, is the fastest and the most comfortable means of getting around the country. We can talk for hours about the amazing onboard amenities or tell you that the departure schedule of Shinkansen trains can impress even a very seasoned traveler. We can mention that their safety records are spotless, and there were exactly 0 accidents involving passenger fatalities over the years. But you know that all already, as the name Shinkansen covers it all, being among the synonyms of first-class travel. But did you know that there is more than one type of train serving the Shinkansen railway? In fact, there are 6 of them and all boast different speed and make different stops along the way. Nozomi trains are the most well-known of them. These bullet trains are astonishingly fast, 300 km per hour or 83.3 miles per hour, serve Takedo, Sanayo, and Kyushu lines and make the least amount of stops. Seems unreal, but the Tokyo to Hiroshima travel time is less than 4 hours. Hikari trains come second, they boast the same operating speed as Nozomi, but make more stops along the way. They operate on Takedo and Sanayo railway lines. Mizuho trains are another limited stops high-speed trains, serving the Sanayo and Kyushu lines. Kodama trains operate Tokaido and Sanyo lines together with Nozoman and Hikari listed above, but they make more stops along the way which increases travel times. Hayabusa trains are the pride and joy of Hokkaido and Tohoku Shinkansen lines. This amazing Japanese bullet train boasts the top speed of up to 320 km per hour, 200 miles per hour, and is crowned as the fastest train in Japan as well as the fastest category of trains, serving the lines listed above. Sakura trains are last, but definitely not the least. This Shinkansen bullet trains operate on Sanyo and Kyushu Shinkansen lines. The trains from Osaka to Kagoshima run every hour throughout the day. At the moment, Shinkansen railway system consists of 7 high-speed lines, plus 2 more lines make up mini Shinkansen. Together, they spread throughout the whole country, cover all popular tourist destinations, as well as quite a few interesting off-the-beaten-path ones you should definitely check out, and make getting around Japan easier than it seems possible. Most travelers are interested in traveling from Tokyo to Kyoto, Tokyo to Nagoya, or Kyoto to Osaka. But do you know about other interesting cities to put on your Japan travel bucket list? Here, we've collected everything you need to know about the most popular Shinkansen routes, including the travel times, number of daily departures, and Shinkansen ticket prices. Although Shinkansen trains make stops only at the most significant milestones along the way such as Tokyo Shinkansen Station, the bullet train network in Japan is so well spread that the final list of all train stations served by Shinkansen trains is still quite impressive. But regardless of where you are going to and what is your departure point, you can rest assured that the train station are nothing but excellent. How can it be any other way when we are talking about Japan, the country with one of the most developed railway systems in the world? On our website, you can find all the important information about the Shinkansen train stations, including their address, brief description highlighting its advantages, and the list of on-site facilities you can check out while waiting for the departure. Taking a bullet train in Japan is exciting, or anywhere really, there is no point arguing that. It feels special, not like taking a bus does. But reading train tickets when they are not for your local train can be rather tricky, especially in Asian countries that boast a beautifully unique writing system that is pretty impossible to crack for those who don't speak the language at least a tiny bit. But there is no need to worry, as Shinkansen are among the most popular connections among tourists, so conveniently all the main information is offered in Japanese and English. To make preparing for your trip as easy as possible, we've prepared instructions on how to read train tickets in Japan as well as suggestions on the best way to book them.
You might blow the whistle, careful, you're leaning. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just looking at those pictures. What